Here, present 12 rounds of boxing for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Sanctioned by the BDB and the International Boxing Federation, President Robert W. Lee Sr., Supervisor at ringside, the IBF European Commissioner Benedetto Montella of Italy. The 3 judges assigned scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Manuel de Casas von España, Heinrich Mühlmelk, Deutschland, Enzo Scala, Italy, and when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, the referee from the United States, Mr. Bobby Ferreira. And now, ladies and gentlemen, und jetzt, meine Damen und Herren, from Dortmund, Germany, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, in the red corner, in the roten Ecke, wearing black, weighing 78.9 kilograms. He brings to the ring a professional record of 70 feet, against only 1 defeat with 1 draw. 19 KOs to his credit. The challenger and former super middleweight champion of the world, Graciano Rocchigiani. In the blauen Ecke, the blue corner, wearing black trimmed with yellow and white, and weighing 79.2 kilograms. In 1988, he captured Olympic gold. And now, as a professional, he has a perfect record of 26 victories without a loss, including 12 KOs. Meine Damen und Herren, aus Frankfurt Oder, presenting the undefeated light heavyweight champion of the world, gentlemen, Henry Maske.
You know, John, if I didn't know better, I'd say Rocchigiani got the bigger ovation.
I think clearly that was the case, Artie.
You received your instructions in the dressing room. I expect a championship fight from both of you. Good luck to you. Protect yourselves at all times. Shake hands.
You know, referee Bobby Ferreira, this will be his 3rd fight. We take a look at the IBF rules, no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is not in effect. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the last, and only the referee can stop the fight. And that referee, Bobby Ferreira from Arizona, this is his 3rd fight of Henry Maske. The first one being the Anthony Hendrick fight in particular, where he had his hands full with Hendrick and actually took away a point for some dirty tactics on the part of Hendrick, which I had nothing to do with. And first round action was scheduled for 12. A lot of excitement here. 2 southpaws. Henry Maske, the champion. Maske in the black shorts with the slight yellow. Rocchigiani, he's in the solid black. Rocchigiani, 31 years of age, same age as Henry Maske, but turned pro back in 1983 as compared to Maske, who turned pro in 1990. Of course, Maske coming out of the 88 Olympics, the gold medalist.
Artie, with both these fighters being southpaws, good uppercut there by Rocky. He landed 2 solid uppercuts to the chin of Maske. The jab is going to be a key punch to both these fighters. Whoever has the better jab is going to be able to establish their dominance in the fight. You see Rocky immediately went to the inside power game with those 2 inside uppercuts.
And Henry Maske, not known for being a fast starter. I've often said you'll see him look like he's losing the fight for the first 3 or 4 rounds, but he's one of the best 12-round fighters in the business. great stamina. At the end of 12, he looks like he can first go another 12, and he looks very soft in the first 3 or 4 as he's looking here at the moment.
He did it against Edgerton Marcus. Didn't he start out kind of slow, and it looked like he was out of the fight?
Exactly. And here he looks again as Rocchigiani, so far taking it to him in the first 2 minutes of round number 1.
And you hear the crowd behind us chanting, Rocky, Rocky.
Rocchigiani not known for being a heavy hitter either. Either is Maske. Rocchigiani's got 19 knockouts in his 37 wins, 11 knockouts in the 26 wins for Henry Maske. As we're under a minute to go in round number 1. This highly anticipated matchup of 2 Germans. Rocchigiani, the former IBF super middleweight champion, and Henry Maske, the present undefeated IBF light heavyweight champion of the world. I'm Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with John Saraceno. We're glad you're joining us here on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network.
Oh, again, those 2 jolting uppercuts on the inside, Arnie. Right to Maske's chin. He shook off both. A lot of pressure on Henry Maske here tonight.
Maske, of course, not only has he never been stopped, he's never lost a fight. Rocchigiani's only lost 1 fight himself. 12-round decision to Eubank. He's never been stopped, and we're under 10 seconds to go in round number 1.
Change. How? Change. How? You look, feel, work, love, move, run, live, jump, change. How you look, feel, love, change to metrics.
Once you have used it, you'll ask yourself why you haven't been using it your entire life.
For free information, call 1-800-431-6655.
Golf Digest introduces 8 ways to a better golf game. It can help you experience a game that's better all around. Get the 8 ways to a better golf game video. It's guaranteed to improve your game, and it's free with your paid subscription.
Order 12 issues of Golf Digest for just $19.77 now and get the latest video free. Call 800-242-6200. That's 800-242-6200.
Round number 2, scheduled for 12. We're coming to you from Westfalen Hall, Dortmund, Germany. The IBF Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. That's Maske with the slight stripe on his short. Rocchigiani, former super middleweight champion. He's in solid black. Good first round for Rocchigiani, John.
Well, one of the keys to the fight, Arnie, is going to be for Rocchigiani not to allow Henry Maske to establish his own pace, which is to jab away, to keep you at a distance, and then he tries to throw that sneaky left hand in, either a straight left or an uppercut. Rocchigiani's got to control the pace of the fight, and that means getting off first. And he did a very good job of that in the first round. You're seeing Henry Maske coming out a little bit more aggressively here in the second.
Maske catches him good, coming in with a left uppercut.
Rocchigiani, you see, he wants to close the distance and try to fight Henry on the inside. Henry's strength is really a long-distance jabber.
And they got to watch those heads in close. Maske does cut. He was badly cut in the Hembrick fight. Got busted up pretty good in the Charlie Williams fight, as I remember.
Rocchigiani with those left uppercuts and a straight left hand, doing good work on the inside, scoring well on the champion.
Maske may be forced to get that jab started earlier, John, to keep him off, as we're halfway gone here in round number 2, and we're scheduled for 12.
I don't understand why Henry isn't using the jab a little bit more and stepping to the side. I mean, he's standing right in front of the challenger, and that's really not his fight, Arnie.
Well, again, as we mentioned earlier, very similar to what he did with Edgerton Marcus. In the first 2-3 rounds, he took body shots like that. Except right now, I just like the way Rocchigiani's looking.
Yep, he's fighting a real smart fight. The difference with Edgerton Marcus is Edgerton probably had, what, 12, 14 fights? This kid Rocchigiani's been around since 1983. He's had 39 fights, so it's really a different kind of a fight tonight for the champion, Henry Maske.
He was the world champion before Maske ever turned pro, winning the title back in 1988 against Vincent Boulware in a stunning 8-round knockout. And I guess the fight that really put him on the map was a first-round knockout on Mustafa Hamsho back in December of '87.
And you saw Rocchigiani there using kind of what I would call a BS jab, just kind of touching him with it and then giving him a sharper jab, trying to set up his left hand, again stepping inside with that uppercut.
Good body work by Rocchigiani, and you got to wonder how Maske is going to take. He can take those shots for 12 rounds, but if he gets his jab working, oh, he doesn't want to trade on the inside like that.
No, I think Rocchigiani clearly is the stronger fighter of the two, but now over the distance of the fight, who knows what's going to happen.
We're coming to the end of round number 2 on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. Tough second round to call, John. I gave it to Rocchigiani, mainly because I didn't want to call it even, but they were both exchanging vicious uppercuts like you just saw. I just thought there was more on Rocchigiani's uppercuts. Maske, who has made a career out of sucking people into his fight, at the moment is fighting Rocchigiani's fight.
Yeah, I think when you talk about ring generalship, and those are one of the criteria we're using for judge fights, there's a left hand by Rocchigiani. Clearly, the challenger has dominated that area in the first 2 rounds. He's fighting the kind of fight he wants to fight, which is to get inside, jolt Maske with the uppercut, and Henry's going to have to use more of his boxing skill to keep him at bay.
All right, we're round number 3, and you see we're from Westfalen Hall in Dortmund, Germany. This is the IBF Light Heavyweight Championship. Another good round for Rocchigiani, and in between rounds, Manfred Volker in the face of Henry Maske. And John, Manfred Volker, one of the great strategists of all time. And he's the guy who had Axel Schultz beat George Foreman over 12 rounds to get the scorecards. And you've got to wonder if this is the strategy he wants. Is this a typical Maske fight? And will that jab and pouring start around the end of this round or the 4th round, or is he fighting the wrong fight?
You know, Henry could be getting sucked up into a mano-mano confrontation here. Fellow German in German land, defending his title for the first time against a fellow German. You know, he may have got, I noticed he even came in with that light beard, kind of having that rough-hewn kind of look.
But almost like a Maske script. It's the 3rd round, and the jab's working. And he's keeping Rocchigiani off him. Minute gone by in round number 3. Of course, this IBF title fight is scheduled for 12. Referee Bobby Ferrara from Arizona. This is his 3rd Henry Maske title fight refereeing. Maske really starting to get on track this round, typical Maske. You've almost got to wonder why somebody hasn't done something better against Maske in the first 2 rounds, because he gives it away each time.
He certainly does. I mean, that pattern's been repeated throughout his championship tenure. You know, he's only had, he's gone the distance 5 of his last 7 fights, Arnie. He's 7-0 in his title bouts, but he's only scored 2 knockouts. So he really depends upon his boxing ability, and the bedrock of that is his jab. And we're seeing it come on a little bit here in the 3rd round.
Under a minute to go in round number 3. That's Maske. He's in the black shorts with the slight yellow stripe. Rocchigiani, the former super middleweight champion, he's in his solid black.
I don't know if Rocchigiani's loading up. He hit him with a straight left hand there, Joe, the champion. But this round, he's really moving forward with his gloves up. I don't know if he's just going to try and sneak a left hand in there, or he's maybe taking a little bit of the round off. He's not doing as much as he did the first 2 rounds.
And Maske's jab keeping him off, that's for sure. And if you think you're watching this fight in a mirror, both fighters are southpaws. Both Germans. And they're both in black trunks, with the exception of a slight gold stripe on Henry Maske's shorts as we come to the end of round number 3.
And here's what Henry Maske does best, the jab in the left hand.
4th round action scheduled for 12. We're in Dortmund, Germany on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. I'm Arnie Rosenthal with John Saraceno. And a very good 3rd round for Henry Maske as he got untracked and that jab started to work.
Well, you mentioned earlier that Manfred Volker, his trainer, was in his face after those first 2 rounds, but Manfred, I'm sure, realizes that Henry's a slow starter and probably was not panicking, but really reminding his fighter, hey, don't just stand on the inside with this guy. You got to jab, you got to give him angles.
And that's what Maske does best.
And certainly he did that in the third round.
Unofficially, though, I've got it 2 rounds for Rocchigiani, 1 round for Maske. John, you see it the same way.
You got the same. Nice left hand there by Rocchigiani. And again, he's coming out a lot more aggressive here in the 4th round, Arnie, than he did in the 3rd, which he really kind of took off.
Well, the question's going to be whether he can walk through that Maske jab and continue to fight on the inside with those uppercuts, or will Maske be able to pick him apart from the outside? He's got to bull his way in against Maske. Both fighters 31 years of age. Rocchigiani started fighting 7 years earlier, and this being the 7th title defense to Henry Maske, the title he won from Prince Charles Williams back in March of 1993. 12-round decision over Charlie Williams.
Well, Maske just laid one to the body of Rocchigiani. You can hear the wind go out of him from down here. And now we see Rocchigiani coming back with some of his own body work.
But when you get in close against Maske, and pay careful attention to this, he's got this way of pouring your head and knocking off the effectiveness while you're in close and bringing you in so close to him that you can't get anything behind your punches. And we're under a minute to go in round number 4.
We haven't seen, Henry likes the short uppercut. We haven't seen much of that tonight.
Jab really working beautifully now, though, for Maske. Doesn't seem to be bothered by fighting another southpaw, John.
No, their styles for both fighters are meshing well.
Not much jabs from Rocchigiani, though. Doesn't really seem to be in his arsenal.
You know what? He has a tendency to do just to walk straight in. He should be punching his way in. Henry is starting now to give him those angles and moves when he's coming in, and it's going to become a little bit more difficult for Rocchigiani to find a target.
We're coming to the end of round number 4. Another good round for champion Henry Maske.
Das war das Ende der 4. Runde. Wir begrüßen weitere Ehrengäste in Dortmund in der Westfalenhalle. Ein bisschen Spaß muss sein. Herzlich willkommen, Roberto Blanco.
You know, the jab of Maske, not particularly hard, but so consistent and accurate. It keeps the fighter off, and then when they finally try to bull their way in, like Rocchigiani did, he has this way of grabbing the head, bringing you close to him, and it negates the power on the body punches. We take a look at action here from round number 4. Maske loading up on the right while he slips the left hand in.
He's a pinpoint puncher, Ernie. That's basically what we're talking about here. And then he throws a sneaky left hand in.
5th round action. From Dortmund, Germany, it's the IBF Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. If you're just joining us, fights about even. First 2 rounds, Rocchigiani. Second 2 rounds, all Henry Maske as he's got that jab unleashed. And you know, the interesting thing, John, is Rocchigiani has never fought outside of Germany. The man has been fighting for 11 years.
Rocchigiani again going up to the peekaboo style. I don't understand quite what he's doing here. Nearly putting his gloves up and allowing Henry to box away. He's not going to beat Henry Maske from the outside. He's really got to get on the inside, but he's got to punch your way in. He's merely standing in front of him and making himself an inviting target.
And Henry Maske, one of the great 12-round fighters of all time at this point, is not going to get tired. He's not going to punch himself out. He knows exactly what he's doing.
You know, maybe it's a weight thing, Arnie, and he realizes he's going to have to pace himself and he can't go full out for 3 minutes with Rocchigiani. It could be something like that, because we see him at various junctures in the fight where he's not doing anything but holding his hands up in front of his face and not punching. And we see him doing it right now.
Rocchigiani's been the 12-round distance 4 times. One time with Sugar Boy Malinga, Crawford Ashley when he won the European title, and then in a losing cause against Chris Eubank, and then most recently a 12-round draw against Frederick Seiler.
And you see Henry Maske giving him that side-to-side movement. He starts sliding to his right, then he'll slide to his left. And it's keeping Rocchigiani off balance.
As it has everybody that's ever fought Maske. As Mickey Duff says, if I was in the opposite corner from Henry Maske, I wouldn't know what to tell my fighter to do. And that's quite an endorsement for the style of Maske and the strategy of Manfred Volker. As we come into 1 minute to go in round number 5, scheduled for 12, it's an IBF light heavyweight championship.
Certainly Henry's one of the most awkward fighters we have in boxing today. It's a very difficult style to fight.
Big shot got in there. Oh, and a low blow thrown by Rocchigiani. See if Bobby Ferrara gives him any kind of a warning.
Well, you know what? I'd like to see Rocchigiani do that. Go low and make the referee stop you. You know, get Henry to stop moving around as much. I think when he's inside like that, you should let both hands go.
I've got to tell you, though, it's a good, and a good left by Rocchigiani.
Counter left hand really caught the champion.
I got to tell you, John, on paper, it's a good strategy, but Hendrick tried it, and all he did was lose a point and get beat up.
Well, there you see, and that's what I'm joking left uppercut there. That's what I'm talking about. He hit about 3 body shots and he went upstairs.
What would you do to get your kids to read?
I've tried pleading. I've tried candy.
Food, TV.
It was heavy negotiations. We even had to have a contract.
Now you don't have to bargain or plead to get your kids to read. Just give them Sports Illustrated for Kids. Here's why.
It's exciting, so they're excited to read it.
He's always reading and always asking us questions.
We have found Mark blooming with reading.
Kids love everything from the puzzles and posters to the sports stars, mazes, and games.
I like Buzz Beamer a lot because he's a goof.
But it's more than just fun. It's an education.
This opens up avenues to all sorts of educational values.
Sportsmanship, self-esteem,
teamwork.
Sports Illustrated for Kids should be in every classroom.
Call now and use your credit card. Get a year's worth of Sports Illustrated for Kids for 4 monthly installments of $5.99. Your kids will love getting it in the mail with their name on it.
My son is reading now because of Sports Illustrated for Kids.
Give Sports Illustrated for Kids to your children or grandchildren today.
So we think reading is #1 in importance, and this is an easy way to start that process.
Round number 6. And it's been a doozy so far. I've got to tell you, John, and you've seen all of Maske's title defenses. You called the Charlie Williams fight, if I'm not correct, right?
Yes, we were there in Germany.
I've got to say, with the exception of the Williams fight, this has been his toughest fight thus far since then.
No question about it. And on paper, going into the fight, it looked like it was not going to be an easy fight for Henry Maske. And certainly so far it hasn't been. We've got him trailing slightly after 5, but who knows how the judges have it. And they may have him slightly ahead.
We were mentioning between rounds, looked like Rocchigiani's mouthpiece had the Italian flag on it, huh?
Well, the colors were red, white, and green. It certainly was not the black, red, and yellow of the German Republic. So,
well, of course he's German, but we know where his family was born and bred. Definitely out of Italy. Both fighters looked upon, obviously, as German fighters as a minute gone by in round number 6.
And the referee...
Maske seems to get pulled into a brawl here right now.
You can also hear the referee warning about holding on the head.
Well, he's seen Maske do that enough. And another good outside shot from Rocchigiani rocks Maske. Maske's got to get that jab reestablished.
Rocchigiani really starting to go to the body now. And I don't know if Henry Maske has ever faced anybody like this. A guy that really wants to rough it up on the inside and has a good, powerful left hand.
The only time I saw something like that was when Maske fought Iran Barkley. In the beginning of the second round, Barkley hit him with a great body shot. And Barkley, who was more or less at the tail end of his career at that point, didn't have enough to follow up, but I could see that Maske was hurt by that body shot. Rocchigiani is making it very tough for Maske to keep that jab stuck out there because he's going underneath the jab and going to the body. And we've got a little under a minute to go in round number 6. If you're just joining us, we're in the 6th round of the 12-round light heavyweight title fight. I'm Arnie Rosenthal with John Celestino.
See, Rocchigiani does not want to be on the outside on the end of that jab. He's got to find a way to get inside behind his own jab and not get caught out in no man's land. That's where he's going to do his best work. See, now Maske caught him coming inside with that uppercut because he had his head down.
And now classic Maske wrestling. He gets on the inside, pushes you down, pouring behind the head. But every time he goes to pour behind the head with that right, Rocchigiani's going to the body with a left hook. As we're coming near the end of round number 6. Another very tough round for Henry Maske.
And Maske's trying to steal the round here, and I think he may do it.
Well, John, I copped out on that one. I called the round even. It could have gone either way. It was a really topsy-turvy round. We take a look at very fast action there. No, we won't look at that.
It's too fast.
Now we'll take a look. 6th round action. Rocchigiani really getting the body attack going in that round.
He landed all of his number one weapon. He's the inside of the body. And certainly the uppercut has been a key punch for the challenge.
Manfred Boca fading down Henry Maske. Doesn't seem to be telling him much.
Well, you know, in the corner, they want to first get their fighter cool, relax, get a little drink of water, get a little Vaseline on him, and then tell him one or two things here at the end of that 1 minute break that the fighter's going to take out into the ring and remember. Now, a lot of times you see some young trainers overload the fighter's brain with all kinds of things. I got the fight even, Arnie, after 6 rounds.
And I got a 58-57 for Graciano Rocchigiani. Maske goes right away to the inside as we start round number 7.
For the left hands of Rocchigiani, right off the start of the round, he hit him with 3 left hands solidly. This is turning into a barroom brawl for Henry Maske, and that's not what he wants, Arnie.
I think he needs to stay on the outside because that usual pouring behind the head, which works against most fighters, isn't working here. Rocchigiani's getting the uppercut off. He's getting that left, hitting it right into the body. As you can see on our screen, that's Rocchigiani in the black, Maske the black with a slight yellow stripe.
You know, I've got the fight scored even after 6 rounds, but if you were to ask me, who's fighting whose fight, we alluded to this before. Clearly, Rocchigiani is fighting the kind of fight he wants to. Henry Maske is not fighting the typical Henry Maske fight. So in that respect, the challenger really is taking it to the champion.
Maske hasn't been able to get the jab reestablished. He started to have a really good one in the 3rd and 4th round. Rocchigiani's been able to go underneath it, though, and work the body, which is not made Maske want to leave that out there. We're halfway done in round number 7. Very fast, very active fight. Both fighters 31, though. John Rocchigiani, though, the more ring-worn fighter. You got to wonder how fresh he's going to be at the end of 12. Although in his last fight, he won a 12-round decision back in December against Frederick Siler.
And that's a very good point, Arnie. You know, this is only the 7th round. We've got a long way to go until 12. And there's no telling. Henry Maske is known for coming on in the second half of fights, so he's by no means out of it.
Rocchigiani not done well in his last 2 12 rounds. He lost the 12th round to Wayne Malinga, but that was down to 168 pounds. And hasn't fought since December 10th when he lost to Frederick Siler. Maske starting to get that jab happening now. Staying on the outside. Oh, and a good counter left by Rocchigiani.
The one thing Henry's not doing is he's not punching and moving to the side. He's standing right in front of Rocchigiani, and he's too much of a target. Now, Henry's got better boxing skills than that. I don't know if he's getting caught up in this macho thing with the fellow gentleman or what. But I like to see him punch and move.
I'd like to see how he's going to urinate tomorrow morning after that body attack is what I want to see. He's really taking it. Rocchigiani really working the body inside at every opportunity. We come to the end of round number 7.
If you're looking for job options and opportunities in today's tough economy, you need the nation's #1 job search publication, the National Business Employment Weekly, the only publication that updates you weekly on top jobs available regionally and nationwide. All kinds of jobs, professional, managerial, technical. And you'll learn how to land one of those jobs by improving the way you write your resume and the way you interview. You'll learn new strategies for earning a promotion and negotiating a raise. And twice a month, you'll get the special Franchises and Business Opportunities section, the National Business Employment Weekly, at your newsstand now. Or call now and get 8 job-packed issues delivered for just $35. Also get absolutely free the Job Search Guide, a collection of the best ideas to help you land a job.
Call 800-345-4100. That's 800-345-4100.
The National Business Employment Weekly. If you're not looking here, you're hardly looking.
8th round, Westfalen Hall, a sold-out Westfalen Hall in Dortmund, Germany. It's the IBF Light Heavyweight Championship on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. It's champion Henry Maske having a very tough time with the former IBF Super Middleweight champion, Graciano Rocchigiani. Unofficially on my scorecard, I've got a dead even at the end of 7, 67-67 time. Where are you at?
I got Maske slightly ahead by 2 points. But clearly, it's anybody's fight here in the 8th round.
Oh, good left uppercut, stuns Maske in there. A warning for the head's getting a little sloppy on the inside. Referee Bobby Ferrara warning Rocchigiani. Maske been prone to cuts from people who butt like that.
You know, what's going against the challenger here is the fact that he's landing the harder blows in the fight, but in a sense, he's not landing enough of them, while Maske is a little bit busier, and I think he's taking some of these close rounds. Rocchigiani has the gloves up, and he'll throw a punch or two, but meanwhile, Maske is jabbing and seems to be throwing more, even though they're more, I don't want to say pity-pat punches, but more of an amateur-based style.
Very often the case, if you're going to score a fight and one of the fighters fights out of a peekaboo, part of the idea of the peekaboo is the catching punches on your gloves rather than moving side to side, makes the other fighter look busier and scores, you know, depending on who's judging it, can steal a lot of rounds that way.
And your point's well made. That's exactly what's happening. You see Rocchigiani putting his gloves up, and sometimes Henry gets through to the target, sometimes he doesn't, but the point is, he's being more active, and that's what the judges are going to see. And don't forget, Henry Maske is the champion, and there's always a little bit of that unconscious or conscious bias for the title holder.
I'm just curious to see how much of that body attack he continue to take.
I noticed that Rocchigiani has gotten away from that body attack here in the 8th round, and we noticed some swelling around the challenger's eyes, too.
Yeah.
You know, it could be that as we get into the later rounds, we're just going to see an older fighter, Rocchigiani, that took his shot early in the fight with those big left hands, and if he couldn't get him out then, it wasn't going to happen. But that remains to be seen.
I've got to say now, though, if the fight ended right this minute, this is Maske's toughest title fight to date.
Well, you've seen him fight more than I have, but the fights I have seen him, I'd say this has been his stiffest challenge, no question about it.
And we're under 10 seconds to go in round number 8. We're scheduled for 12. Anything can happen. Very excited crowd. They've waited 3 months for this fight since it was sold out 3 months ago. They're working on that eye in the corner of Rocchigiani. Jab work with Maske starting to take its toll. And we take a look at action here, John, from round number 8. There's that Maske jab going out there, and a beautiful left uppercut comes down from the underneath. Follow-up right, caught on the gloves, though, of the peekabooing Graciano Rocchigiani. There's an uppercut. Oh, and you know what? From that angle, that right got in.
Yeah, it did. And that's not where Henry Maske wants to be on those ropes. He wants to fight in the middle of the ring. I misspoke myself before when I said I had it by 2 points. Actually, I had Maske by 1 after 7, and now I have him by 2, 77-75 after 8.
Round number 9 from Dortmund, Germany. I'm on Tokyo Rosenthal along with John Saraceno on the Cedric Christian Sports Network. I've unofficially got Maske up 77-76. We got Maske up by 2 points. A very good 8th round for Maske. The eyes are starting to look very bad on Graciano Rocchigiani as the Maske jab finally starting to take its toll.
And you see Henry fighting better as the fight is worn up. Boy, he got hit by a 2-punch combination there. Very solid by the triangle. And Henry comes right back with a combination of his own.
And to date, and again, we're only in the 9th round and we're scheduled 12, but to date, no one has worn out Maske. Maske always the pressure of the two fighters at the end of 12 if it goes the distance. Body shots or no body shots, and he's taking some beauties from Rocchigiani thus far.
Like Virgil Hill, you can say he's the master of the 12-round decision. Both light heavyweight champions have had their fair share of distance fights in their careers.
Isn't that a matchup you'd like to see?
Well, potentially. I don't know, though.
Might be like watching Pink.
Yeah. Or my grass grow. Although my grass is growing pretty fast right now, but I think Virgil's a little too safety first oriented.
Maske doesn't want to lay on the ropes, and he eats a big right hand and another left, and he's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt, Arnie.
Rocchigiani hurt him. And just like you said,
John, hold him.
He didn't want to be on the ropes. You said that's not where he should be.
He's got to grab him and hold on. He's never been hurt like this in a professional fight, and I don't think this kid knows what to do, Arnie.
Let's see if Rocchigiani can finish him. He's never been down, never been hurt.
If Henry has the wherewithal right now, he's just got to collect himself for 1 minute and not get caught in and sucked into a brawl here.
Rocchigiani very poised. He's an experienced fighter, working the body a little bit, hoping to bring Henry's hands down again.
The other thing, Arnie, is Rocchigiani might be a little bit fatigued at this point. Can he follow up on that barrage? It doesn't look like he can.
Rocchigiani, not a bad distance fighter himself, but he might be punched out like you said, John.
That was a solid left hand there by the challenger. Henry Maske has shown he's got a durable chin. He was rocked about a minute ago, and it appears that he's cleared his senses, although he looks a little bit weary, as both fighters are here as we get ready to complete the 9th round.
I don't think he's 100% though. Rocchigiani still having his way with them as we're going to come to the end of round number 9, and this is scheduled for 12.
You are what you are what you eat. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. You eat. So check the menu.
Once you have used it, you'll ask yourself why you haven't been using it your entire life.
For free information, call 1-800-431-6655.
I found this men's journal under his pillow. Now I know where the excitement in our life comes from. Men's journal covers everything better, from toning up his abs to tuning up our sex life. Men's journal tells you everything about living life better.
Hey! Start doing it better right now. Get a trial subscription to Men's Journal for only $9.97. Call 800-737-9800. That's 800-737-9800.
We take a look at 9th round action here as we start round number 10. A tough one. Round number 9 for champion Henry Maske. Enough to bring it even on my scorecard, John. I think we still got Maske up by a round. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's exactly right. 86-85. But Rocchigiani clearly has landed the more telling blows in this fight.
Let me put something in perspective, though. We were wondering why Rocchigiani may not have finished him. The last time Rocchigiani scored a knockout in the title fight was back in October of 1988. against Chris Reed with an 11-round stoppage. He has not had a knockout in a title fight of any sort, except the European title fight since then.
Now Henry pushed himself off the ropes there because that's not where he wants to be. He got in trouble there in the 9th round. And sometimes that's fatigue too, and you see a fighter go back to the ropes to kind of preserve his legs, take a little bit of a blow. But that's a dangerous place for him to be. He wants to be where he is right now. He's reestablishing the jab and throwing those left hands and scoring on the challenger.
Well, I don't want to say Manfred Volker put a bit of a worrisome speech into Henry Maske between rounds, but he certainly has him up there and awake and about as aggressive a round as Maske's had thus far in this fight. He certainly, at least in my opinion, had his head cleared, but he just ate another good left hand.
Two left hands, and Maske came back with his own left and an uppercut by the challenger. Oh, this is sensational fight. It really is.
Remember, Graciano Rocchigiani has never been stopped. He's only had one loss, that coming to Chris Eubank, 12-round decision. He's never been stopped, one loss. Maske never been defeated.
And all the build-up in Germany leading up to this fight for 3 months, this fight has lived up to its billing between these two German fighters. The fans certainly have gotten their, Deutschmarks lunch?
4-punch body combination by Rocchigiani doesn't seem to do anything to Maske. Bobby Ferrara, judged from Phoenix, Arizona, in his 3rd Henry Maske title fight, separates the two fighters. Maske having a very good round. Rocchigiani looking very fatigued, John.
Both fighters tired, but Henry throwing more punches. And it wouldn't be cliche to say that Henry Maske truly has the heart of a champion. I mean, he is out on his feet, and he's continuing to fight back. He's not trying to sit on it because he knows if he's got a lead, it's a very small one. He's got to keep fighting to retain his championship tonight.
That clock must be off. It caught everybody by surprise there, including referee Bobby Ferrara.
I was wondering what both fighters were doing, turning their backs on each other.
Bobby Ferrara throwing his hands up. He doesn't understand it. Nobody really sure what happened there. Might have been a quick foul. Very good round, though, for champion Henry Maske.
Jetzt kommt deine Chance. Du musst in die Mitte.
You take a look at that good infighting there from Rocchigiani. And again, you made a point earlier, John, which was very good, is that Maske is throwing more punches, a lot of them being caught on the gloves by Rocchigiani, but he's more active. His style of defense happens to be the peekaboo, which doesn't always bode well on the scorecard.
Henry throwing one of his favorite combinations, that uppercut followed by the right hook. I'm assuming that's somebody's wife, but that's a mere assumption.
That's Rocchigiani's wife.
Okay. We solved that riddle.
11th round was scheduled for 12. Referee Bobby Ferrara breaks him apart again. Ferrara, by the way, doing a terrific job in his 3rd Henry Maske title fight. Henry Maske got rocked very badly in the 9th round, but there's been no knockdowns. Came back at an excellent 10th round. John, I've got Maske up 96-95 at the end of 10.
I've got a 96-94 for the champion. But he's not out of the woods yet. 2 rounds here. And the way Rocchigiani can punch, Henry Maske is going to have to be careful and keep the jab in his face and stay the busier fighter over 2 rounds. There's uppercuts. Rocchigiani on the inside. Henry Maske's got to keep him at a distance on him.
And he shook Maske again on the inside and has Maske holding on. A little more than a minute gone by in round number 11. This is scheduled for 12 for the IBF Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Henry Maske looking to successfully defend it for a 7th straight time. And Rocchigiani can't seem to be able to sustain an attack right now. He hurt Maske a little bit in the beginning there. Here's where Maske does best. He leans on you, and that takes a lot out of a fighter.
Muhammad Ali used to love to pull down behind the neck. And I think that's what you were saying before. It's the team on the part of Graciano Rocchigiani. In his, 12th year as a professional fighter.
Maske starting to keep his right hand, though, dangerously low. And left hand because of it. Rocchigiani not following up on it, though.
Well, he just doesn't have enough left. But occasionally, he'll slip that left hand in. And Henry Maske's got to get those hands up.
Under a minute to go in round number 11 on the Federal Christian Sports Network is Bobby Ferrara. Really going to have his work cut out for him this last round. When fighters get tired, he's got to separate them a lot.
I got to tell you something, Arnie. In the past, I've had some doubts about Henry Maske. His willingness to step in and really fight down and fight a guy. But tonight, I've seen enough about Henry Maske. He's a true champion. He's displayed all his talents. And he's worthy of being called a
and he's determined to sit here. Rocchigiani snuck another left in, and Henry just didn't even want to hear about it. It's almost a no-pain situation as we're coming under 20 seconds in round 11, and again, Ferrara's going to split the fighters apart. They're getting a lot of a wrestling match from there.
You'd be so nice to come home to.
When you need to get away, but don't think you have the time, bounce back from it all with a weekend at Hilton. Even a few days can feel like a real vacation, especially when you discover how little it costs.
You'd be so nice, you'd be paradise to come home to and love.
Golf Digest introduces 8 ways to a better golf game. It can help you experience a game that's better all around. Get the 8 ways to a better golf game video. It's guaranteed to improve your game, and it's free with your paid subscription.
Order 12 issues of Golf Digest for just $19.77 now and get the latest video free. Call 800-242-6200. That's 800-242-6200.
Right edge on my scorecard, 106-104. John's got him 107-103.
Actually, I think I got it 106-103.
Correct. And both fighters very tentative here in this first round. I would think Rocchigiani would be the more aggressive of the two.
Well, it looks like that's what he's looking to do. Load up to that one left hand to end rallies.
They slipped a good right in there, snapped Maske's head back, and Bobby Ferrara the last 2 rounds, and this round included now. He's going to have to do a lot of separating, and 2 very tired fighters. Now they fought an incredible pace.
Rocchigiani made his fight plan clear from the opening bell. He was going to go on the inside and throw his power punches, the uppercut and the straight left hand. And he almost pulled it off. The fight's not over. We got 2 minutes to go. But what an effort by the 31-year-old challenger. And how about Henry Maske showing us really the courage of the champion.
And I'm telling you, Maske, even though it's the 12th round, he's keeping his right hand very dangerously low. Rocchigiani may come over the top with that left. He could end everything. And he hit. Oh, there it is. Hurts Maske again. Maske's definitely hurt.
He's stumbling, Arnie. He's hurt.
Henry Maske's going to go down, possibly for the first time in his career here.
He's got to grab and hold on.
Over a minute to go in 12th and final round. Maske very hurt. Rocchigiani has Maske in big trouble. And down goes Maske. Let's see if Ferrara calls it a knockdown or not.
I think he's got to.
No, he doesn't call it a knockdown. No knockdown.
Well, clearly he fell down. He was in close. And he's holding on for dear life.
This could still go as a 10-8 round. Rocchigiani trying to do what he can. Trying to win this title. Maske holding on for dear life here. Referee Bobby Ferrara has his hands full at the moment. Rocchigiani might be punched out totally too. John, they fought an incredible pace.
Here's another big left hand.
Oh, and he lands it with the right. He can't get Maske off of it. What an ending to an incredible fight. 18 seconds to the bell. Well, Maske will be said, remember, there's no saving by the bell in the IBF.
Exactly. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell. Inside 10 seconds.
What a fight. And it looks like Maske's going to weather the storm. And that's it. Now, do you give Rocchigiani? I gave Rocchigiani a 10-8 round, John, in the 10th. I've got the fight even at 114, 114.
Well, I also gave him a 10-8 round because that clearly was a knockdown. He didn't know where he was, and he fell down under his own power, if you will. I've got Henry Maske 114 to 113.
I've got it even at 114, 114, giving the last round 10-8 to Graciano Rocchigiani. On my card and yours anyway, Henry Maske keep the title. We're going to take a look at the action here from round number 12.
Maske carrying his both hands precariously low, allowing the challenger to get those big shots in. And hopefully we'll be able to see him telling blows. There was the left hand. And Henry's wide open for another one.
A tremendous fight.
The right hand, high in the temple. Henry Maske just not able to cover up.
Right through the glove. We had said he's taking his right hand dangerously low. We're anticipating the decision from ring announcer Michael Buffer.
You want to know something? If they gave this fight to the challenger, I don't think they could really argue about it. Because clearly, I think it's clearly that he had the champion hurt on more than one occasion tonight. And maybe Henry Maske piled up more points at the jab, and maybe he was busier.
He's being hugged there by German promoter Wilfred Sauerland. Take a look at Manfred Boker, Denny Mancini, the cut man. Shaking his head. They think they won the fight.
But they're worried, Arnie. You know they're worried right now.
A lot of anticipation in the crowd.
They can't take anything for granted.
There's Buffer.
And of course, Michael Buffer will know before
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Judge Scala scores the bout 117 to 111.
What was he watching?
Judge Mumelt scores it 116 to 113. Judge De Casas scores it 116 to 113 for the winner, and still light heavyweight champion of the world, gentlemen, Henry Maske.
Well, John, it's very obvious they saw it a lot differently than you and I saw it. We had it much closer. Scores of 117, 111, 116, 113, 116, 113. Again, I had the fight dead even. You had Maske winning it by 1 point. It's got to be very tough to hear a decision like that for Graciano Rocchigiani.
You know what? I think in one sentence I can sum it up. And I think what happened was that Henry Maske outboxed Rocchigiani, but Rocchigiani outfought Henry Maske, if that makes any sense.
Well, it was a terrific card. It might be a swan song for Rocchigiani. Maybe it'll call for a rematch. But it's been a great card here on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. We look forward to our next fight. I'm Arnie.